Welcome to another episode of the Ear Hustler podcast, where everybody has a story and God gets the glory. Today, our special guest is none other than Mr. Daryl McManus, aka Word. How you doing today?
What's good with y'all today? How y'all doing?
Yes, sir. I've been trying to sit with you.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and do this.
Yes, sir. Let me ask you something. Where were you born at?
I was born in Wilmington, Delaware. Pine Street to be exact. I lived all over the whole entire city, from the west side, east side, north side, Prices area. I lived in Newcastle, different areas of Wilmington and Newcastle. That's where I'm from. I classify myself as a whole Wilmingtonian.
Okay. And let me ask you something. How did you acquire the nickname Word?
Well, I acquired it from international paper, actually.
Oh, okay.
It was, matter of fact, my whole entire line started calling me that because I used to say Word all the time.
Oh, okay.
It was so many different ones that used to call me, so I can't really call off name. You got Craig, you got, man, I'm just
okay.
with
Well,
words.
the reason I asked because I know, you have a lot of words for people. You always enlightening, educating, and empowering people. So that's why, I thought you got it from, because you have a lot of knowledge and wisdom and stuff.
But a lot of people, that's what they said. That's what they said. They started telling me. They say some of them say, "Hey, you talk too much."
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes they say I might talk so much, but later on, you think about what I talked about and say, "Yo, he pretty right about what he's talking about."
Mm-hmm. So born in Delaware.
Yes, sir.
How did you end up all the way down here in Georgia?
Well, my grandmother's from Lyons, Georgia, and December the 26th, 1983, I told my mother that I was leaving and I wasn't coming back home. And I was going to move with my grandmother. My grandmother pretty much raised me most of my life. Rose McManus, she raised me. So I ended up going to Lyons, as a young man, coming to an area that you don't know anybody, but they built me. Lyons, Georgia, without Lyons, Georgia, there's no me,
Mm-hmm.
because if it wasn't for the elders around there, I guess they seen something in me and they protected me. Even the young, the teenagers, they protected me. I was from a different place. Plus I had all the music, so everybody know about it.
And from Lyons to Washington?
Yeah, I left Lyons, and my cousin Jay Collier lived in Washington. See, that's how I ended up in Georgia in the first place, because my cousin Jay Collier used to watch me as a child from the ages about 3 to about 6.
Okay.
And she used to watch me, and I used to be with her foot to foot. So one day, my father told me that they had to leave and they moved. And I never knew where they moved to, her and her brothers. And I always thought about it all my life. From as I aged, I thought about her.
Mm-hmm.
So when I said where I'm going to live at in my life, I spun the globe. Some happened reason I ended up on Washington, Georgia.
Okay.
And I'm talking about something the globe in the school, spun the globe, finger on there. Literally popped up on Washington, Georgia.
Okay.
And that's something and that's where I ended up at.
Okay.
It was destiny.
Because that's why I first met you at. You mentioned Miss J. Cola. I grew up across the street from her mother. Miss Hattie was her mother, correct?
Correct.
Okay, yeah. And I remember seeing you down there as a kid, and because I always looked up to older people, and people young my age, they really can't tell me too much, and you would always offer your wisdom not only to me but all the young cats in the neighborhood, and that's something I still remember to this day. And so not only did you just move to Washington, I also noticed as a youngster that you were also very active in the community there. So what made you take interest in becoming involved in the community, and tell me some of the things that you actually did in the community and for the community.
Okay, what made me start becoming a community activist was Supersonic Social Club, actually. Okay, my wife Emmy once told me about a plaque that they had down at the park. I ain't believe him.
Which part?
Reach Booker Park. So I didn't believe her. So I walked down, and many times I played football in that park. I never paid attention to that little monument that sits over there by the swimming pool now. So when I looked on the monument and seen all these women's names on here, and I already knew about it because when I came to Washington, that's when Supersonic really was still popping real heavy. So I seen what they was doing, and it gave me the red light to say, hey, I like this. I'm going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I got my inspiration from, with Supersonic Social Club.
And do you say your wife was a member?
Yeah.
And
at the time, yeah.
Do you remember any other members of that Supersonic Club?
Yes. Wow. You got Barbara, the twins.
And when you say Barbara
Richardson.
Okay.
Barbara Richardson, the twins. You had Jaleesa Perkins. You had Emmy. You had what is she rest in peace. Golly, it's on the tip of my tongue. I'll come back with her name in a minute. Believe me, for her to rest in peace. It was Lily's sister.
Okay.
Lily Perkins' sister. Lily was also a part of that group too. So Lily and her sister was part of the group.
Okay.
And it fascinated me, man. Mm-hmm. It fascinated me that it was a lot of women doing things that men should have been doing in the first place.
And it seemed like it's still that way.
It's that way because of the simple fact that I don't understand our men, you know? A lot of our men think that just because things happen to them in their life that you can't get up, Me, I was homeless before. You know what I'm saying? I was a homeless dude. I was sleeping on the bench. Park benches in the park. Slept where I could sleep. Different family members' houses. Stuff like this. But I figured out it's got to be something better than this. I was out there deep in the dirt. Something better than this. Until we realized there are young men have to learn and understand it's something better than this. Pick up a book. That's a big problem. We don't read nothing. Pick up a book. If you can't read, let somebody know you can't read. We can teach you how to read. I want to see all our people become educated. But you can't get education if you don't try to tell somebody something. I'm seeing a lot of people in Washington, Georgia itself, that they said that they was illiterate or was not capable of doing things and passed a test, the GED test. I know quite a few people that the people looked down on them and said they're not smart enough, but they passed the test.
Yeah, one thing I see that a lot of men in general, they fell off from a lot of things. And
but you got a lot of men that went up.
Right.
You got like I tell a story about young people nowadays about some of the guys in Washington that now they got barbecue stands. Mm-hmm. They got different groups and businesses going on, and these guys were felons.
Right. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying, one thing I noticed, and it seemed like it get worse every year. There was a time where a father used to be in the home. And now, even if the father can't be in the home for whatever reason, you still could be a part of that child's life. Especially, you definitely need to be a part of our son or your son's life, because if they have no one, a woman can raise a child to a certain extent, but it's certain things that that man need to be in that child life. So that's why I try to tell people, even though you and the female may not be getting along, you still need to be a part of that young man life, especially.
But a lot of times it's not the male.
Right.
Majority of the time it's not the male. Now, I can't speak on anybody else. Majority of the time it's not the male. I always look at it like this. Most of the time these ladies have good men, right? They have a good man. He's capable of moving and building. But then you decide that you want to go your other direction. Things didn't work out. And when it don't work out, and that person gets another woman or a man or something, you know, whichever way it go.
Right.
She goes and say, you're not taking my children over there to that person's house, or you're not doing this with the children, or you're not. A lot of times women get in the way of the boys.
Because they bitter. Well, let me ask you this, because I know you know a lot about a lot. I had this discussion with somebody a while back, and they was trying to tell me that the reason the black man is not in the home like they used to be because the government played a part.
Yes, true. Very, 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 very true. I know for facts because, see, when we moved into the projects on Townsend Street in South Bridge, I was 4. And I remember my father when he came home from Vietnam. And when we moved into the projects, he would never unpack his bags. He always kept a green duffel bag in the corner. And the reason why I learned later on that when an inspection came, he had to be gone. A black male cannot be in the house. I don't call us black male, indigenous males. But we're indigenous people. We got to realize that. We're not African.
Explain that for the people that may not know.
Okay, indigenous means that you're not a native of this country. Every person in here has, at one point in time, has heard that their grandparents say, you're Indian. Why would they reconstruct you? They didn't ever reconstruct their own people, but see, they did. And at the end of the day, when they started classifying, classification done everything. Reconstruction done everything to us. Everybody said we was in slavery before Reconstruction. No, we wasn't. We was prospering. When they changed us who we are from the indigenous to Negro, that's when we became not who we are. That's when we became not a part of of what they call America, which is Turtle Island. Okay, if you turn around and re-educate a whole set of people to tell you what somebody else wrote, and to lie to you and say that you signed all these treaties that's not signed, why you're not able to vote? Why do you have an act to vote? You ask yourself that question. Why do you have an act to vote? You don't have a law to vote. But an immigrant coming here, get everything he wants, everything they want. We pay for it. We pay for it. But you're not allowed to vote. If they say they get rid of that act, you're not allowed to vote. You know why you're not allowed to vote? Because you're not a part of America. You're part of this land. This land belongs to you. All them people running around here talking about this slavery. No, those big white houses you see up there, those are your houses. I tell the Callaways all the time, once you go on to your own house up there, you know that place they have mules there, that's your house.
And the city paying for it.
It's your house. That ain't the slave quarters wasn't slave quarters. There ain't no such thing. You show me some slavery in Washington, Georgia. Show me any history where it said you had slavery in Washington, Georgia. I'll wait.
And back when you years ago, you also were a member of the Unity Group.
Yeah.
What exactly? How was that formed, and what exactly did y'all do as the Unity Group?
Well, Unity Group was formed by, this is how it really goes, okay? Me and Councilman Nate Cullors, before he became councilman, I had just got finished running the race for city councilman for Washington. And I said, well, I lost the race, but what's bigger is that I had got a lot of people registered to vote. So that was my main objection anyway, win or lose, was that we would get enough people to where we can be able to vote our own way. So me and Nate were sitting at Miss May Willis' house, and Nate told me, said, "Come here, you thought about doing something to help with the community?" I said, you know me, I'm always down with doing some stuff dealing with the community. So we had this meeting at Reese Booker Park, and at first we had like, I think we counted it was like 110 or 115 males out there that day when we decided to do that. But then you had some males who saying that they wasn't going to be involved in the way we were going to do it because they said they do their own thing. They're doing it. They're doing their own thing. So that left us with 20. I think it was 20 of us left. Sherman was one of them. Scotty Crane.
And Sherman Gartrell?
Yeah, Sherman Gartrell, Scotty Crane. I think it was Sherman, Scotty Crane, myself, Nate, Clifford Jones. What's his name? God, I can see his shores. The lady's name that rest in peace, Cindy.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace, Cindy. She was the other person that was with Supersonic Social Club. Okay, now let's go back to that. Well, it was quite a few of us. There's 12 of us started out, and we made
and it seemed like you named mostly men.
All of them were men. We didn't when we started this. It was not set for no woman to be in it. The whole idea of Unity Group was supposed to be for men, done by men, but somehow we ended up with women in there. But it turned out okay for us to have them, but it was supposed to be designed for men and men only to take care of this. So we decided that we want to clean up our neighborhood, and we started buying cups. Instead of people throwing their bottles out and running around here with bottles, because the simple fact the police was so heavy in the community that we started telling them to put their stuff in red cups, throw your bottle away. So that kept the area clean. If bottle was up, we was outside picking them up. We used to ride. We had people that ride with the police to make sure that they were doing what they're supposed to be doing in the community. We established voting registrations. We went straight to city council and county commission meetings. We did a lot of stuff like that.
Y'all very visible.
Oh yeah, extremely visible. We were known. We were so known. We was called radicals by black folks. I never forget that. We were called radicals by our own people.
Some of them still call that now.
I'm gonna stay a radical.
And so you, at that time you was living in Washington.
Yeah.
And you still a property owner there now. So that's why you, okay. So, and you were living there when former Mayor Burns was elected?
Oh yeah.
The black man?
I was part of the reason why he's elected, because of the simple fact that the registration of the voting registration.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you this. Do you think, and we've tried for the last decade or so, do you think they'll ever have another black mayor there?
Yeah.
What would it take?
Start letting out-of-towners come in there telling you what to do. There's no way in the world you should have a mayor. That man that you have as a mayor right now, he's not from Washington. He doesn't have anything to do with Washington.
He's been there a while though. I don't know.
I don't care how long he been there. I don't care how long he been there.
They said the numbers just ain't adding up.
The numbers ain't adding up. That doesn't make sense when you got a majority black vote. So who's cheating? See, you got to change the people who are counting the votes. Yeah, I said it. Eastern Stars, Masons, still counting the votes. still running the voting line.
Well, I think one of the major problems is that a lot of people just staying at home and not voting at all.
They vote. But they too, I'm just gonna say it like this. We can be lazy. We're the laziest ones. You know how lazy we can get? We don't want to even go to the poll. You're a mail. You sure your vote was counted? When I went in there, at least I pulled a lever or did whatever. I got my paperwork saying I voted.
Mm-hmm. And the way the mail running there, you definitely don't want to mail.
Did you see on the news how much was thrown away?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because they can't count them all. You can't count all the votes that you have in the state, plus the ones that they putting extra in.
Then every year they trying to change the law or something to make it more difficult.
They move it for you, against you. It's called redlining. Mm-hmm. They keep saying redlining hasn't stopped. Redlining is still happening. Redlining happened just not too long ago, right here in Athens.
Well, that leads me to something else. I be seeing and reading a lot of comments and stuff and hearing people say, what would you say to the people that say that racism doesn't exist anymore?
That's a bullshit.
But you can see it every day, can't you?
It's called class. People mix racism. Racism is running a race. You're not in the race. We're not in the race. We're going backwards. You know why we're going backwards? Because we refuse to get in the race. We are so individual now when we was the ones that were so close together. They made you an individual. You can't even pick up your brother off the street. You walk by your brother on the street.
And they're black on black too.
We got so many people in our communities that can do a lot of things in this world. We can do everything from building a house to growing our own food to anything chemical to anything structural. We made the first car.
Don't need the government.
We don't need you for nothing. You need me. You've been needing me. If I don't feed you, you don't eat. I don't care what we do in life. If we don't feed you, you don't eat. We the ones don't eat. We don't eat off of what we build. We feed the world. Now the indigenous people saying, we sitting down now, we ain't doing nothing. Now the whole world's scared. Why the world scared? Why is the world so much on social media wondering what's going on with the indigenous people of America not standing up to saying, we're not going to war, we're not fighting y'all problems, we're not doing this, we're not doing that, because we're tired taking care of everybody.
What do you say to people that like to vote on color? You know, well, I'm gonna vote for him just because he's a black man. Is that always the right thing to do?
Why would you do that? Do they do that on your job? Do they pick you because of your skin color? 9 times out of 10, yeah. They ain't gonna pick you for your skills, so you still fall in the same cycle. If the corporate world is doing you that way, you're gonna do the same cycle in your local world. Because you're still living on that same 360 turn. You never get off the daggone ride.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's here. It's mental. Get off the ride.
Mm-hmm.
Indigenous people are the most feared people in the world. You are the Hebrews. I say it again. You are the Hebrews. Every time they talk about Israel and everything that's done in the Bible is here. Every mountain is here. Over there, the hills.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you going to be all that over here? Over there is supposed to be of God's country, but everybody coming here. In that case, when they do their own work at home,
Right.
Why you coming here? God said the children gonna gather, bro.
What so like did you see any of that debate the other day or whatever they call it with Trump and Biden?
You mean Trump versus AI?
What do you think the country coming to, man, when we got two people, I guess 80 plus years old, running for commander in chief?
Why you still got people running the country? What commander in chief? Look at your Congress. How old is Congress? Why are we still letting somebody 80 some years old that should be taking Social Security, but it's still taken away from the people for Social Security, run a country? That means you too soft. Two old men that still have old ideas run a country.
Yep.
See, Donald Trump is not here to run the country. And see, people keep forgetting it's not about who runs, that's the military.
Mm-hmm.
The president runs the military. He does not run the country. That's why he lives in D.C. He doesn't live in Virginia where Kamala Harris lives at. Kamala runs the country. That's why she's the VP. The VP is the one that runs the land. President runs the military. He makes sure that you're safe. That's why everybody talking about, they keep sending money to Ukraine. That's what the money is for. To fight wars. It ain't coming out your pocket. That's money that they've been having saved up for years. But that money, to me, is not money being taken to Ukraine, because Ukraine ain't fighting no war.
Mm-hmm.
That money is being transferred to somewhere else.
And some of the other countries, they probably sitting back laughing at us.
Venezuela, Ecuador. You don't know where the Nazi party's at. These Nazis up there in that office, man.
Mm-hmm.
All them cats you see in the office, you got Nazis and psychopaths.
Mm-hmm.
Who gonna join the military when your commander in chief supposed to be a male telling you you're a female? You following that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably military now. I got a whole bunch of military men that follow up me and going down. Who's following that? Every part of your military is built with psychopaths. See, the reason why people get mad at me about Donald Trump will have a mission to do. It's called draining the swamp. Do you know what the swamp is? The swamp is them daggone folks up here trafficking children and trafficking people. They eating people. Yeah, you're saying, word, you crazy. No. You ain't been looking at the news lately, seeing all these kids being found? Tunnels being invaded? People's homes, they got tunnels underneath their homes, they're being invaded. There's something going on that you ain't looking at. And half the people that sit up there and don't want to look at it, they don't look at it with their mind. They're looking at it with their eyes. But they don't see what's going on. See, I'm against all that type of stuff. I'm against pedophiles. But y'all sit up here talking about he shouldn't be president. You want a man that to be president? See, I met Joe Biden on a couple occasions. In the seventh grade, he gave me my pendant for Boy Scout. Small church, Buttonwood, Delaware. I met him in youth and government down in Dover. He lived in Newport, the most racist area of Wilmington. You cross over Ellesmere Bridge, you're going to see a cop there, I promise you. Today.
Speaking of cops, you remember a few years ago when they got rid of the police department in Washington, Georgia. Do you think that was a good move for the
Stupidest
city?
move in the world.
Stupid move.
Two reasons. They were doing the job. Your police department was doing their job. That's one. If you ain't doing nothing, you ain't got to worry about them. But most of the time, if they come up on you, you done something. You had a department full of indigenous people. The reason why they closed that thing down because they didn't want a female chief.
Mm.
And that has happened over and over and over again, that you have a qualified woman to do a job and you determined to keep her from doing it.
Mm.
There's no way in the hell you're going to sit here and tell me that Theodosia was not qualified to be the chief of police. But you go grab some daggone white man that's from somewhere else. You grab some other black man from somewhere else. But you can't deal with the one that's born and raised in your county. What's wrong with you?
And now they got the sheriff election coming up.
Dietrich's like my son, man. You know. See, all them guys used to come over and do music in my house. Everybody know that. If you wanted to know how to deal with music, if you can rap, if you can scratch turntables, if you can do anything dealing with music, it was in my house. Everybody knew that. We had the turntables, we had the mics, we had the equipment, we had the beat machines. The music was in my house. People was go in the closet, get up on the mic, spit, come out, record, everything in my house. In my house, one room. They got the haircuts in the house.
One-stop shop.
One-stop shop in my house. No woman had to worry about where her child was when they was at my house. All males. Never no girls at our house. All boys.
So you think Dietrich, he the man for the job?
He knows the people. Dietrich came here like me, 18, 19 years old when he started coming around in Washington. He was young. He just came into being a police officer, you know. I think that he would do an excellent job. I think that he'll make him get out, make him lose weight and get out and do some work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been trying to I've been trying to get him to sit down with me and let him know what's going on and what his plans is for the future, of the county.
I think I'm very proud of him. When you come from somewhere else and you have to establish yourself in a place that nobody knows you, it takes a special person to blend.
And they go back where you said, not even just for the mayor, even like the sheriff, you'll let somebody come in from out of nowhere.
Look, all you sheriff, I'm gonna ask you a question. Why you keep voting for the same people, same family?
And Holly, you want
same family structure, always into something political. Why is that? Why is the Barnett's the only one that can be elected? Why is the same people that run the sheriff department, the Moores, continues to be elected? Why are they elected? There's nobody else out there to do the job. They ain't never, what? You tell me what a Moore done for the city. You show me what a Bennett done for this city of Washington. All them rich daggone folks in Washington using your stuff that belong to your family, eating good, and can't stand your ass.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But you sit up there and come at me some kind of way or look at some of these other folks kind of side-eye because we stand up. We stand up dudes. So if you want, what you want me, you want some soft daggone men? I don't deal with soft men.
Right.
I'm going to make you hard.
So, I know you talked about you went from sleeping on the park bench and you had an incredible journey throughout your life to even be blessed the way you are today. How big are you on God and like your belief?
I'm living it, man.
So you believe in God?
Yeah.
Okay.
God's in me. You are, the Bible said, Moses said, you are God. You are a God. You're not the, because his name is not God. It's Yahweh.
But you are a.
You are a God. You have to be a God of your own self and your own temple. That's your building. That's your church. Your church is you.
Mm-hmm.
What you put in you is what come out of you. So people always, they look at the Bible different than I do, I guess, because it's simple fact. I didn't dwell into the Bible till I was 18, 19 years old. I was chasing a skirt.
Mm-hmm.
Chasing a skirt led me to a church.
Right.
So when I got in that church, that minister, the pastor, the bishop knew I was different.
Mm-hmm.
So they taught me different. All the ministers that was in Lyons, Georgia taught me different.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't teach them like they taught the ones in the church system because they still used to milk.
Mm-hmm.
I was hungry. And I already had knowledge in my head too. Mm-hmm. So when I look at the book of the Bible, I look at it different. I see different. Like I was talking about the White House. Why you got bail in the White House?
Mm-hmm.
People won't look at the simple fact, why does Joe Biden has the devil in the White House? This is supposed to be the land of God. Why he has the devil in the White House?
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this then. Since we went back to the White House, what do you think the biggest problem in our country is? One of the biggest problems our country is facing right now?
Until you do right by us. Just like Whoopi Goldberg said in that movie.
Color Purple.
Until you do right by us, you're going to crumble.
What about the biggest problem in the Black community?
Selfish. Selfish. We don't want to help one another. We can take $100 each person in Washington, Georgia, right? You can take up a whole year and get that $100. Build anything you want. You've been sitting there with that school over there all that time. Oh, y'all went to that school.
Not only that, I'm going to go a little deeper, the church. Last time I counted, it was 75 churches in the whole county. 40 of them were so-called Black churches.
Why you got 40 churches?
Take in in excess over $1 million a year collectively. But look at the community.
Because it don't go to you. When you put your money in that coffer for church, it leaves your hands, goes to the bank, leaves the bank, goes to the corporations who turn around and builds new homes and houses, and grandma is kicked out of her house because she can't pay the taxes.
She going to church every Sunday.
She going to church every Sunday, paying her tithes and offering and building fund and every other fund that's on there. Mm-hmm. But grandmom all of a sudden don't have a place to live.
Right.
Then you turn around and start listening to these pimps. You already got small town pimps in the church. Then you went to the mega church. Do you know what the mega church did to the black community?
What did it do?
Sucked the daggone draws out of it. Every dollar went to the mega church. Where that money end up at? Rome. The Roman Catholic Church got your money. 3 city states. Understand them. Rome. Religion. England. Money. America. Military. World. 3 city states. They control everything. Why you think that every time something go down, if the IBF of them don't like it, they call the military of the United States, they go over there and blow them up?
Right.
Why you think that all your gold went right back to England after Donald Trump brought it all back home? How did it end up back to the Queen? Joe Biden? Kamala Harris? How did it end up back to the Queen?
Well, when you're not educated and empowering people, I know one of the things you love to do is music. So how long have you been working with music?
Wow. I probably didn't know. I could believe I probably was in the music in my mother's womb.
So you can remember when rap and hip hop started?
Remember, I was a part of it.
Okay. What's the difference between rap and hip hop?
Hip hop is something you live. Rap is something you do.
Okay.
Hip hop is a culture with a K, not a C.
How had the hip hop culture and the rap music changed since when it first started?
It saved my life. I tell people in a minute, if it wasn't for certain groups like Gangstar, Public Enemy, Boogie Down Production, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, Fat Boys, Ghostface Killer, Wu-Tang and them, especially Ghostface Killer. I'll tell you straight up, if it wasn't for that guy right there, man, I'll probably be suicidal.
Now, back in the day, it used to be more lyrical. It seems like to me now it's mostly based on the beats, because back then the lyrical content was a lot of quality. Now it seems like it kind of dumbed down a lot. And I hear a lot of people try to blame the music that's out now for the way the culture's acting, especially the young men. Do you think that the lyrics that are entering into the ears now are affecting the community for like violence and drugs and stuff?
Vibrations. If you can, bass can knock your chakras out of line. A lot of bass music, boom, 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 what could unalign your chakras. And when your chakras are unaligned, whatever's coming out of that person's mouth is going to go into your mind. So if you think about it, we went from not doing drugs to saying no to drugs to selling drugs to using drugs. How did that happen? Propaganda. You think about it. On your songs, they talk about we popping mollies. We popping beans, pills. What do you think they out there doing? Popping beans, popping pills. We busting caps. We killing our ops. You killing your cousin.
Is it too far gone now to turn around?
No. What's going to happen? People are waking up. Even, did you see what King Von's homeboy said about what they're going to do in Chicago? He said he went to Lil Durk. See, I listen to all these. I listen to these young guys.
You get what I'm saying? You got to stay relevant.
I stay relevant. All right. So Lil Durk had an interview. He just came out of rehab because he said he was on codeine and pills. You're not going to do crimes unless you own something. You're not going to go out there and say, yo, I'm going to go out here and strap up, go kill me a whole bunch of folks with.
A sober mind ain't going to do that.
No. Sober mind going to think, what in the world I'm doing? A pilled out mind? A shirked mind? A coked out mind?
Mm-hmm.
Bushy.
So when we say you do music, what do you do? Like you do all you rap, write, do the production? What exactly do you?
I do most of the production.
Okay.
You know, everybody keep telling me I should go back to writing poetry. You know, because I used to write a lot of poetry. You know, I used to be like thinking I wanted to be like Marvin Gaye. Mm-hmm. You know, Marvin Gaye was one of those types of people that sang, but their music was poetry. It's like Tupac. Mm-hmm. Tupac was probably the greatest poetic rapper you probably ever going to ever see in your life. It probably will never be one. Mm-hmm. Because if you look at his rhyme book, him and Nas, they poets. Mm-hmm. My pens.
So and you record and everything.
Yeah.
So who's your favorite MC of all time? Or should I say group? Because I know back then they had more.
My favorite, I put it like this: my favorite MC of all times is Nas.
Okay.
The greatest MC of all times is KRS-One.
Okay. And you open for business, in it? Because everybody and their mama rapping now, so or singing or trying to do something with the music. So are they looking for a place or want to record or get some track? How can they reach out to you?
Word Life 302 Productions, Daryl McManus. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on all the platforms.
Okay.
You can find me anywhere. Even here. You can get in touch with anybody that knows me. Everybody knows Word. You go to Jefferson's, people know Word. You go to Athens, people know Word. You go to Washington, people know Word. You go to Thompson, people know Word. You go to Augusta, people know Word. You go to Savannah, people know Word.
Right.
You go to Lyons, people know Word. You go to Swainsboro, people know Word. You know what I'm saying? You go to Jacksonville.
Years ago, it used to be hard to come out in the music. You know, you probably had to sell stuff out of your trunk and stuff like that. Now, I mean, back then, but now it's became a lot easier for artists to make it with the internet.
You're allowed to bite. Mm-hmm. You growing up in hip hop, that was the number one thing you couldn't do. That's a sucker MC. You biting his rhymes? You biting his style? Everybody know how I dress. You see me out, I'm always dressing different than everybody else. Because I always was taught that you create your own path and your own style. So the worst thing of all things now is that the music is repetitious, for one. Everything got hi-hats, pound and bass, same repetition.
And the song's about half the size.
All of them sound the same.
About 2 minutes now, all you're going to get.
Yes. So what you going to do, just put that mug on repeat, 2 minutes of repeating of stuff that has nothing to do with any substance that can help you. Mm-hmm. So hip hop was about helping each other, growth. When Mandela got released, that wasn't because of the Africans. That was hip hop. Mm-hmm. The hip hop is over here up there saying free Mandela. That's Hebrew people.
Right.
And what they do? Free Mandela.
What's up?
Free Tupac. Free Tupac. That was my man down there in Florida. They had the big flats that Donald Trump released.
With your music, man, you're not just limited to one genre.
Nah.
You versatile.
I'm very versatile because the simple fact of my background in music. My father was my father was more like a DJ. Without being a DJ, he bought, if it came out on Thursday, he had it. My grandmother was the same way. My Uncle Carmen was the same way. And so every song that came out, regardless it was on a 45 or an album, we had it. So my mother was into Motown. My father was into jazz and different types of different music, mandrill, stuff like that. My stepfather was into more like the dramatics and Manhattans and stuff like that. And my stepmother, she was more into like Betty Davis and Tower Power, stuff like that. So then I had my own influences from my own age groups. Mm-hmm. So, me being a Jackson 5 fan, stuff like that. So music in my house was like 24/7. Mm-hmm. Or even in my next door neighbors, it was 24/7. So growing up like on Townsend Street, Saturday morning, you used to hear Miss Dot Porter's playing. You hear Stevie Wonder wake you up in the morning screaming, early in the morning. She's cleaning up. So we heard these things coming out of the Natural High, stuff like that. We heard that coming out of the projects. Mm-hmm. So living in the projects gave you pretty much, that was hip hop for me. Mm-hmm. Because hip hop started out in the early 70s. So it started out, they say Sire 72. And everybody classified as New York as the home of hip hop. I don't. It was too much going on during that time period just to give it to New York. Everybody had played their different position, but nobody never really knew how the umbrella really came in the form of hip hop. It just came. Well, I give them that credit because without them putting that out there, they had broadcasting. They had everything. We didn't have the radio stations like that. We had WMPH, mm-hmm. which was extremely crucial to hip hop. It was a high school radio station, Mount Pleasant High School radio station. People used to come from Chester and Philly just to go across the line just to see if their song was played. Mm-hmm. A lot of rappers from New York, if it didn't cross into Delaware, their music wouldn't have got played.
But you told me about your favorite MC. Who's some of your favorite producers?
Premier is my number one producer. I'm a huge Premier fan. Oh, I like Sky Zoo too. That's my man. He's coming here in Athens. Twalil. They're coming to Athens this month.
Oh, so, I saw that there with the Georgia Theater.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm really looking forward to that, man, because I'm a Sky Zoo fan. I'm a real Sky Zoo fan.
Oh, okay.
Once I found his music and Raspidy's music, man, I'll be like, this guy got like 15 albums I ain't never even heard. Mm-hmm. But when I first heard his first one, I had to go all the way back down there and listen to all of them. Mm-hmm. That's how hip hop is. You never know this guy or this lady is underground until they come above ground. Then once you come above ground, you got to go all the way back there. They got 8, 9 albums. Mm-hmm. But that's how it works.
Yeah, sure. I appreciate you sitting down with me today, man. We've been trying to link up for a while, man. And I know you got so much information inside of you, man. We probably had to do a part 2 one day, man.
Oh man, we're gonna finish. We're gonna lock it down.
And collaborate on some other stuff.
We're gonna lock it down. Mm-hmm. Because I still got a lot to say.
Oh yeah. Well, look, I tell you what, then, man. We talking about all this music. Before I get out of here, man, let the people hear something.
All right, you know me. I ain't gonna throw a whole bunch of some hip hop at you. I like to deal with when I do things. I did a lot of easy listening music, so I'm gonna play a little jazz track I made. I named it after my sister, Lisa. her name is Alyssa, rest in peace, but I named it after my sister. So let me let you hear this track. See, I like people to do smooth, single, something to listen to, you know? And knew something wasn't on. I said, wait a minute. I figured it out, what it wasn't on. So I sent the track to a young lady. Her name's Cece. She's from here in Athens. And I was at the Hip Hop Awards in Athens, and I thought she was incredible. So I sent her this track, and she was like, okay, I like this. So I'm waiting to see what she's gonna do with it. Yo, that seed throw. Nigga, what a free throw. Maybe you might take it slow. Yeah. I'm into this music, man. I've been around this stuff so long. I'm so happy I got my own equipment. Built my own studio, man. Something that I've been talking about when I was in Washington. I should tell people in Washington, I'm gonna build my own. This is just the beginning. I want a huge studio. I want a warehouse studio. I want to be able to do my own stuff in the studio. I want to be able to employ people. Our own people. Because every time we teach somebody something, they use it against us. We taught the Arabs how to use the banking system. We taught them how to use the cash register. We taught them how to do all the paperwork and what they do. They fired you and hired their own and trained their own. Same thing we do with domestics. We train them to do everything. We teach them to do everything. The Italians, the French, everybody. We teach them everything, and then they turn around and fire us, and then turn around and say that we lazy. How are we gonna be lazy when we taught you? It's impossible. How are you gonna sit here and tell black folks they lazy and they built this whole entire place? But you gonna call me lazy because I don't want to do what you want to do no more? Because I don't want to kiss your behind? It's not like that no more. Generation X is outside.
Hey, play a little rap beat.
Let's see. I got a lot of rap beats now. I got a lot of rap beats. I promise you, man, I probably got about beats. I probably got about 2,000.
I believe.
I come down here. I come down here every day and do at least 2 to 3 skeletons. Then I go and put something extra on something track, or I take something out of a track I don't like, put something else in, and back and forth, till you get what you want. We got to change the music somewhere. This is what I'm working on. Got a lot of. I can go track to track to track to track to track to track. I mean, if you come around here, I got. So I do. It's healthy for me being a veteran and being from the streets. Instead of me taking pills, instead of me drinking, I quit drinking 2 years ago. This is my therapy. People got to find something for therapy. The world can get on your nerves, but therapy can be what helps you soothe your mind, reading books, even preaching. You know, you have to be special to be a preacher. You have to be special to be a nurse. You have to be special to be a teacher.
It's a calling.
Everybody can't do that. Everybody can't be a police officer. Everybody can't be a bum either. You gotta start teaching your kids to read, man. How many kids can do cursive? How many kids can write their own name? How many kids know what a blue ink pen, a black ink pen, and a red ink pen is for? Some adults don't even know that. Black, you write in black, that's personal. You write in blue, that's corporate. You write in red, that's blood. Well, who's gonna teach you that? So it's all natural science, natural being. People be saying, ill word. How can we build ourselves into a strong nation? Stop listening to white folk. That's number one. You can't continue to listen to somebody that writes everything and make it about them. You did everything. You did it. How can you come from way in the mountains? Did not wash your behind. Did not clean yourself. You did not eat. You did not cook. You was eating raw food. All of a sudden, to tell you how you got over here. All of a sudden, to tell you how they made a big old giant ship and put thousands and thousands of black folks in a boat, and it's only about 10 of y'all. 10 people. Put thousands of people in a boat, in a ship. They didn't even have ships back then. They had boats. So how you gonna put these 1,000 people on this ship that you didn't really know how to make? Put ammunition in that ship. Plus you gotta have a crew and sail 6 months through the Atlantic Ocean, the worst ocean in the world, the worst ocean, and cross that mud.
without even getting hit by some pirates. You gotta have some ammunition, you gotta fight. So, how you gonna carry all that weight in some wooded ships? You were enslaved, not enslaved. E-N slave is different than I-N slave. We still POWs. And we're POWs because we've been hacked by a thing called the Voters' Right Act. When we begin to vote, we gave up our rights to this land. And that's it. And that's the people saying, "Word, you talking crazy." Well, look at the statistics. During Reconstruction, 1863, when the Squatters' Law was passed, who ended up with the land? The slaves that came over here on them ships, and them white folks that came here on them ships. Those ships got all the land. They're immigrants, and immigrants still doing this. They're doing the same thing with immigrants today. And what do? Sit down and say, okay. But when somebody like me stand up there and say something, now you all on my back. Why you on my back? You know what I'm saying? Why you coming at me? You think you know anything? You think you did? You think? Why you coming at me? You don't go up to that white dude over there that's putting a mud hole in your ass. But you come and kick me. You come and shoot me. But when the cop come, you go and hide everything. What you running for? You ain't never seen me run from a cop. Nowhere I lived at, you never seen me run from a cop. You ask all them police officers in Washington. Yeah, some of y'all try to get me. I'm a street dude. I used to live on top, I used to live down below. And sometimes in the middle. I had that swimming pool over there. Do you know that's supposed to be an Olympic-sized swimming pool? Why you don't have an Olympic-sized swimming pool? There was money there for it. Who spent it? Your government spent it. Your local government spent it because of the simple fact that park and recreation is a part of the general. What's name? It doesn't have its own society. You know, like you got the water department, you got the electric department, you got the trash department, you got all these different departments. So why is park and rec still within the general funds? So that means that anything that goes in the park and rec, you don't have no money because the simple fact they're using it in the funds. So now you wonder why you paying $100 and something for a kid to go play football? A little girl to play, to put on a cheerleading outfit? Do you know how much money that cost the Washington Wilkes folks, Athens, Oglethorpe, and all the other counties because they refused to change the funds? They refused to put Park and Rec as its own entity. And if it was its own entity, you'll get more money. And the reason why you still get more money for grants and stuff is because they are hiding it in the general funds. When are people gonna wake up to that? When is Washington gonna have an audit? When is Athens, Georgia? When is Athens gonna have an audit? I promise you do an audit in Washington, you're gonna be wanting to kill everybody that's in city government. If you ever find out where that money went. Where all the drug money went? It was thousands and thousands and thousands, probably millions of dollars made in the streets of Wilmington. In the streets of Washington. Where's that money at? Ask yourself that question. Where's the money at? See, I do everything I can with the twins and them because I see what they're doing. They motivate me. But when y'all gonna get motivated? It is what it is. Till y'all get motivated, come on walk with me. I'm ready to put it on. I'm ready to throw the nuts up. But you gotta be ready to throw them up with me. It's time for me to go. We'll do this again. Peace out. Word life.